Hi, I'm Daniel Gold, and welcome to the Leadership Lab. By day, I'm a partner at BDO USA, but this podcast is my personal project, completely separate and apart from my day job, but reflect the same passion that I exhibit everywhere for teaching, mentoring, and helping others succeed through simple, impactful lessons. It is my hope that you'll walk away with practical takeaways to help you on your leadership journey. Thanks for being a part of this community and for joining me in the Leadership Lab. Let's get started. A decade after the Great Depression ended, the United States found itself immersed in World War II. The fear of another economic collapse paired with wartime urgency drove companies into a full-speed, profit-first mindset. And back then, well, that made sense. There was no roadmap for corporate responsibility, no language for values-driven business, just survival. But then, in October 1943, something very interesting happened. Johnson & Johnson published an internal credo, we'll call it. Not just a slogan, but a full-blown statement of operational priorities. In this document, Robert Wood Johnson II, son of the company's founder, listed 5 priorities for the organization. And the first one might surprise you, because the first one were families, doctors, nurses, and patients. The second one were the company's employees. The third was management. The fourth were the local communities in which they served. And the very last one, shareholders. That hierarchy wasn't just controversial, it was a bit heretical for its time. In a decade that was obsessed with profit, Johnson & Johnson said, "We serve people first, and profit was the byproduct." And it wasn't just words. That credo was embedded throughout the company. It literally became their operating system. And honestly, most companies today still haven't caught up. Fast forward a couple of years, in 1946, management legend Peter Drucker, he doubled down. He said that a corporation must justify its existence by the contribution it makes to society. Not just profits, not just goods, contribution, responsibility, and purpose. 8 years later, Drucker wrote, "There is only one valid definition of business purpose, and that is to create a customer." And that was the moment that the conversation shifted from maximizing value to creating it. Now, fast forward through Peters and Waterman, authors in the 1980s, Collins, author in the 1990s, purpose was no longer this fringe idea. It became strategic. It became culture. But then, fast forward again, then came Simon Sinek and his TED Talk about the Golden Circle. It has over 60 million views today, and there's a reason for it. And I remember the first time that I saw it when it came out, and it was simple, and it was elegant, and it was powerful, and I marveled at it. Start with why gave language to a feeling that so many people had but couldn't express. But here's the thing. In the wrong hands, it's just feel-good stuff. But in the right hands, it's an invitation to realign everything. Sinek's words was a generational translation, a remix of Drucker and Johnson for a world hungry for meaning at work. But it also became easy to exploit. Slap a slogan on the wall, call it purpose, move on. But real purpose, real alignment, that shows up in the small stuff. Purpose lives, or dies, in the details. Not in vision decks, not in values posters, but in the help desk ticket that never gets resolved, the software that makes your team feel like they're going backwards, not forwards, the endless approvals that kill momentum. That's where purpose gets tested. That's where cultural debt accrues. Now, like technical debt, cultural debt accrues interest. Every tool workaround, every broken workflow, every just deal with it moment, that's a withdrawal from your company's trust account, a withdrawal from your leadership account. And when employees are drained by these things, they don't show up their best. Morale drops, innovation stalls, and customer experience suffers. You don't build raving fans culture from an exhausted teams. You build resentful survivors. Stated another way, operational breakdowns are, in fact, leadership problems. They are not IT problems. They are not culture problems. They are leadership problems. Every leader, from the CEO down, must safeguard the core values of the organization in all of the littlest details. Like a relay race, you can't just pass the baton. You have to protect the flame. That's the very reason why I created a very practical framework to help you. And it's called LEAD, L-E-A-D. 4 leadership practices that ensure that your values don't die in the day-to-day. The L stands for lead. Lead by example through observation. Watch the floor, or the virtual floor, if you will, and watch the work and ask real questions. Track pain points, not just outputs. The E is engage. Engage with those closest to the process. Hold space, listen to the front line, and create safe, anonymous feedback loops. Involve them in how the work gets designed. The A is for align. Align operations with core values and audit your tools and ask your teams, does this reflect what we say we stand for? And if not, it's an invitation to change it. And finally, D, deliver psychological safety, as we talked about in the last leadership lab, because no one will tell you the truth if they are afraid of consequences. So if you're serious about building a values-driven culture, not just marketing one, start with my LEAD framework. I've built a downloadable checklist you can use with your team. It's in the show notes. It's in the blog post. Use it to assess alignment. Use it to open real conversations, and use it to lead with integrity. Because in leadership, it's never just about the big ideas. It's always the small things. And those, well, they are what define us. Thanks again for joining me in the Gold Standard Leadership Lab. Remember, leadership isn't about perfection. It's about progress. Take this lesson, put it into action, and continue setting the gold standard in your own life and at work. See you next time.